First off, I feel we have to start with Fortnite. What is it about this particular game you think that has captured the fascination of a generation or two of gamers?
Emily, Fortnite has really taken the world by storm. It's truly grabbed gamers everywhere, and it really speaks to the volume and the excitement around the battle royale genre of gaming, which is has been around a while but has really picked up steam. But as of March of this year, research firm Superdata reported that about 40 million players worldwide and $223 million in revenue in the month of March alone for Epic Games and what is this phenomenal growth in Fortnite.
So how do you imagine these competitions actually working? Is it every person for themselves? Is it teams? Will they be happening in your arenas?
Absolutely. I think the beauty of this genre is there's a 1v1 format, there's a 2v2 format, and then there's a 4v4 format as well, with a lot of creativity and other formats I'm sure coming on the back of this. Even 50v50 it can happen in these games. The interesting thing about a battle royale format is usually there's about 100 players that drop into a map, and you're scrambling for weapons, and it's a last man standing type of game. So there's really no limit to the creativity that can happen inside these games. And so what's coming from Epic and other creative tournament organizers like ourselves will be truly exciting for the industry as a whole.
So talk to us a little bit about how you see these fitting into your arenas and your realm.
Sure. I mean, for Allied, we have 6 arenas around the world to date in North America, Europe, and China. Our flagship opened up in March in Las Vegas, and one of the things that we really looked at was the rise of Fortnite and how truly powerful and popular this game was, and how do we bring that excitement into a building. And so what we did was we partnered up with the most popular influencer and streamer in that game, a guy named Tyler Ninja Blevins, and brought him in where he's typically streaming from his home to millions of viewers every day. We brought him into Las Vegas, headlining on the Las Vegas Strip, and basically created an environment where players in the arena could play with him. Really an enhanced experience overall.
You know, there's talk about how Fortnite is a more potentially inclusive game, but do you think that could help or hurt esports given the traditional sort of first-person shooter audience?
Well, esports really covers a wide variety of games. There's multiplayer online battle arenas, which are team-based. There's first-person shooters, which can be team-based. There's team-based shooters. There's a lot of different genres out there today. And Battle Royale is just another example of that. It just happens to be the one that's growing the fastest right now, largely on the back of games like Fortnite and others that have really seen a rise, and the inclusiveness to it, the ability to play in different formats within the same framework of a game is exciting. And you can see that by the interest in people watching and tuning in, but also the amount of players is just phenomenal.
So, you know, when talking about hit games, there's always this question, is it a flash in the pan, or is this going to be a franchise that is going to generate hundreds of millions of dollars year after year after year? Is it too early to say that Fortnite is going to be a lasting hit? I just think about Pokemon Go, for example, which really was a moment and not a movement.
Well, I think that you're right. It's early. One of the things that's amazing about this industry is the games keep changing. New games keep coming. And while not many people had heard about Fortnite 6 or 7 months ago, it is the hottest game today. And this industry has that power for a newcomer to come along and for more growth and more users and more players. And that's one of the things that's exciting about it. But this throw of $100 million in prize pool into this industry. Last year alone in 2017 was $112 million in the esports industry in prize pool. So we've just doubled that in one game. It's exciting, and it's certainly this kind of makes you feel like Fortnite's here to stay. But the industry is going to keep coming out with more and more creative games.
There's a new Overwatch League. There are the revamped League of Legends leagues. You know, what are the lessons that you're learning in terms of what works and what doesn't work when it comes to these big pro esports leagues?
I think one of the things about us as a company is we're game agnostic. We try to work with everybody. Our facilities are infrastructure that the industry as a whole can utilize. And so, we work to create leagues and events and try to work with a wide variety of publishers. So each game has its own nuances, what works and what doesn't. There are different folks that are exploring in different ways. And that's exciting because the industry is really so nascent that it's figuring that out. And we'll see as this evolves over time. The great thing is that the power and the numbers and the interest globally. This year it's projected to be a global esports audience of 380 million people worldwide. With that kind of power comes a lot of opportunity to grow and explore. And the fact that it's truly global allows a great path for that.
I do want to ask you about Amazon and Twitch. The company made a big splash buying Twitch for $1 billion. We talked about it a lot at the time, but we haven't talked about it as much since. What has been Amazon's influence on Twitch, and where do you see them taking it and fitting it into the overall Amazon empire?
Well, I think if we just talk about Twitch for 1 second, Twitch, this industry really evolved with the idea of a live stream platform, and Twitch really was a first mover in that regard. So that's where the majority of this audience, certainly in the Western Hemisphere, is tuning in. Amazon's acquisition was extremely brilliant when it comes to harnessing the power of this demographic that's tuning into this, and nothing reaches the 18 to 35-year-old demographic, much like esports and really gaming. And what's going on there is much more than just competitive video gaming. It's entertainment. It's folks like Ninja who are broadcasting themselves to millions of people just playing this game, and that they can appreciate what he's doing. Amazon's ability to connect that with all of their other offerings has really allowed for them to be able to cross-market a lot of their other services. And I think that's the brilliant power of what they've done by acquiring this audience. For us in the Ninja event, we now had the most viewers on Twitch for a single stream just on that event alone, which was 680,000 and 2.4 million over the broadcast.